Hello. This is the 235th Test from the Future, an experimental podcast from the year 2225, which we are sending from our present to yours. My name is Dirk.
And my name is Simon.
And we're putting the past in podcast. As you can probably hear, we're not in Simon's apartment.
No. This week we are putting the past into podcast from a hangar.
Yes.
Instead.
We're in a hangar. Does it sound like a hangar? I don't know.
But it does to me since we're in one, but sure. Our listeners can let us know what it sounds like when they email us, which we'll give the details of later.
Yes, exactly. And then, this is, I guess, a very typical 23rd century hangar. We'll get to it later. But yeah, so that explains the sound. Why are we in a hangar? We'll mention later. Because first, it's time for our irregular segment in the news. I found a nice thing in the news, Simon.
Yeah, first, so many things have happened by now compared to 200 years ago, but a nice new first, yeah?
Yes. Do you want to reveal what it was?
Nope, you can do that.
It was the first person from Malta setting foot on the moon.
Right.
And that person itself didn't know.
No, they were unaware.
Yes.
I mean, they just assumed, I also would have assumed, surely people from Malta have been to the moon by now.
Yes.
This is the first person to get round to it.
Yes,
from
exactly.
Malta.
And apparently some sort of system triggered the message. Some moon base official noticed. But I mean, there are so many people living there. There have been so many people born there on the moon and on other planets. And then,
sure, being born there by definition wouldn't be from Malta. But right, exactly. True. So many people have moved there and either moved there permanently or just travel there for whatever reason.
Exactly. And apparently there's never been somebody from Malta on the moon. Okay. So, it is a relatively small country. But yeah, so good for them.
Definitely. And for all people from Malta.
Yes. I'm sure it's now a national holiday. So very short segment of news. I would say we move over straight away.
To the reason we're here in this hangar.
Yes. So why are we here in this hangar?
So we're here because for the last several days we have been building a Starfury.
Yes.
And we hope to have it finished by today so that we could switch it on and give our listeners a listen. Yeah. We didn't quite manage that. Nope. But we can still talk about it.
We can still talk about it. And of course, the podcast is all talk anyway.
We could have pretended it worked and got some sound effects from somewhere. But no, we're honest. We're honest podcasters.
True, actually. I hadn't even thought of that. We can just still say we finished it and just pretend.
Let's not do that.
No. Okay. No, we shouldn't pretend. No. Yes, but before we get to the actual Starfury, I thought maybe we describe a little bit the hangar where we're in. I think what we should point out, just in case there is some noise, we're right below the shuttle station. So we rented this for a week, space below the shuttle station. It was the cheapest, so it's right below the platform. So occasionally we haven't been able to hear what the other was saying, if there are shuttles leaving or
but
coming.
We're hoping that this time of day there won't be so many shuttles taking off up there. Yeah,
there's been quite a few mud transports leaving earlier today, but that stopped at some point. Anyway, so it was the cheapest. We just wanted it for a week anyway, and we thought it doesn't really matter if there's a lot of noise or not. If we just need a place to build a Starfury and it doesn't fit in your apartment.
Indeed, and originally, exactly, for building, of course, that's why we're here. And originally we were going to finish up here and then go back to my place to record. But we were really hoping, if we just work a few more minutes, we'll get it done in time. Okay, it didn't work out in the end, but that's why we're still here.
No, to be honest, I thought it was kind of practical, the thing. We'll get to what it actually is.
We'll totally talk about what a Starfury is in a moment, but until then,
But it's kind of practical to build it at a shuttle station.
Of course.
Just to be honest, it was bigger than I thought, and even if it had worked, I'm not sure if we would have fitted it.
We wouldn't have been able to fit it through the door. No, we would have teleported it up onto a shuttle upstairs and then taken off into space.
Obviously.
So we will really describe what a Starfury is in a sec, but one of its points is it's not the kind of craft that can take off from Earth. It launches in space and only works in a vacuum. So it was going to need to be launched up into space on a shuttle anyway.
Yeah, fair enough. But yeah, I thought maybe a little bit about a hangar. So
right, first.
For our 21st century listeners, I mean, we just have to look around and describe it. But what does a typical 23rd century hangar look like? It looks like if this is one. I haven't been to that many hangars.
Sure, but we'll take for granted this is a typical one. So, huge open space.
Yeah.
Concrete floors, walls, and ceilings. Very bright paint, all painted very bright white. So you can imagine when it was new, it would have looked really spotless.
Yeah.
It's not really new, so the ground, especially the floor, is especially scuffed up with all kinds of scratches and marks. And
there's all kinds of things happening here where you just guess from all the scratches and the stains.
Yeah, and the walls too, for that matter. Some weird things up on the ceiling there. I can't even tell what that is.
Yeah,
exactly. Loading equipment's over there, like lots of pallets and stuff. A power loader over there, like a mech suit, that kind with the claws and so on.
Yeah, there's also some things here where, do they kind of come with the hangar, or is it stuff that other people left behind?
Yeah. I mean, we rented the space. That's it.
Yeah.
We didn't rent any equipment. So, but sure, it's not clear then. Is the stuff in here stuff we could have rented, and they just leave it because they're not going to store it elsewhere, or is this stuff that previous people who rented the space have left here?
And also, I think it was not like. I think initially it was used for something. You see the vacuum slots on the wall.
Yeah, right.
I mean, they don't seem to work, but I guess at some point they were meant for something.
Yeah. And you can see up on the ceiling, there's those tracks with like the chains hanging from them.
True, yeah.
Or at least the point where you could attach. So there's a couple of chains hanging, but way more attachment points for presumably more chains. So stuff must have been being moved along there at some point, but now there's nothing else, just the leftovers.
And also, like in the corner, there's like old-fashioned rails coming out from under the wall, and then
train track rails.
Exactly, and then making a turn and then going into some other wall.
So maybe there used to be tunnels there, which have since been filled in, but the tracks are still there on the ground.
Exactly. So, or like this used to be like one big hall or room or hangar, and they've just put walls in it when they started renting it out,
partitioned it up.
Yeah, exactly. So anyway. And then there's our stuff.
Right, our stuff. Yeah, exactly. We've got this roughly the middle of the room, let's say, big scaffolding, a frame from which we have suspended our Starfury, which looks pretty impressive. Looks good, yeah. Like we've got the instructions here. Pretty good match.
I mean, I think like we use this space to build our Starfury.
Exactly.
But funny enough, like, because we've been here now for a couple of days, like we've never been down here before. We've been up there, but not down here. But there are people here that I've now met several times that seem to rent the space permanently.
Right.
Did you meet, I met the guy next door that collects space rocks when I left earlier today to get more equipment. Did you meet?
I've nodded hello to him. I haven't actually exchanged names. Did you get his name?
No.
Okay. So, no. But I know the space rock guy.
Yeah, the space rock guy. Exactly. And he has I was hoping maybe he invites us in, but he didn't. But the door was open, and he was I just use it to collect space rocks.
Yeah.
And then just it looked more like a junkyard, like an indoor junkyard.
For at first, before I knew there were space rocks, I thought he was collecting rocks to build like a bouldering center or something.
Oh.
Like for people to rock climb,
Maybe it's a space bouldering
Could still be
center.
the goal, yeah? Like collect all the rocks, but then what do you do with them? I mean, you can also just collect them for the sake of collecting them, but maybe makes them into a space bouldering place.
All right. Or maybe
we can ask him later.
Exactly, or maybe he will ask himself that question at some point, like, what should I really do about this stuff? I've spent so much time collecting them, I don't want to throw this away, and then, hey, how about I make this into something?
Thinking of what happens to all these space rocks when I eventually die.
Yeah.
Maybe while I'm still alive, make something with them so that they can continue being used.
Exactly. But that's someone that's or like next door neighbor.
I haven't noticed, it just occurred to me. I mean, regardless of whether he uses them to build something or just collects them, I hope he is checking them for space weevils, because it'd be pretty bad to get an infestation going on. I mean, we'll be fine, we're going on a few days, but for the other people who work here,
That's true. You don't want to be the source of a space weevil plague. I assume so. Like, it's not so easy to get these things through quarantine, I guess. But
well, they should have taken care of it.
I mean, there's the meteor shower up there, so like I assume he'll have passed them through there.
Right, as well.
But then, like when we were working because we've been working also pretty late the last couple of days. There were these odd robot meetings taking place. I know we spoke about it quite a bit. Just something that I wanted to point out because we don't really know what they're doing.
Sure, it's pretty hush-hush.
Yeah, it's pretty hush-hush, so I can't imagine what anybody has to hide. But like, if you have like hush-hush meetings by
underground,
why be them
kind of not abandoned, but not a heavily frequented place.
Yeah. Anyway, that's just that's some of the neighbors that we have down here.
Yeah.
Okay, but I would say.
Shall I say what a Starfury is? Yeah, that's probably. I mean, some of our listeners may know, maybe, but some of them won't. So either way, it's worthwhile describing. So a Starfury, it's a spacecraft that only works in the vacuum of space. Very maneuverable. What does it look like? That's probably another good starting point. In the center, you have a pod, so a sphere, within which one person can stand. And then branching out from that sphere, from that ball, there are 4 spokes, 4 arms, depending on the orientation, in a cross or an X or a plus, and on the end of each of those spokes is a maneuverable thruster that can swivel in all kinds of directions. And what is this all for? Okay, in space, you as the person in the center, you control the thrusters that are around you, and you can move around in space. So it's a very maneuverable spacecraft.
Yeah. And then we thought that's a cool thing to build yourself.
Yes, and just earlier this year, IKEA made their first, because people have been making these for quite a while, like custom, manufacturing all the parts themselves and so on. But now you can go to IKEA, get the parts, follow the instructions, use the Allen wrench.
It's, the thing at IKEA was already super cheap. We even got it at a sale, so it was even cheaper. And then it was just too good to pass by, and I think, I'm just thinking if we wouldn't record this podcast, we might have still gotten it because of the price and the cool idea to basically build your own Starfury.
Yeah, to be able to go up into space and fly around in it.
Exactly.
It's very appealing.
And then, we already knew the size of the boxes and so on, so we had them teleported here.
Yeah, delivered directly here.
And then came with instructions. We brought our own crates to sit on.
It's a huge hangar, so we didn't need the whole hangar for the building. We did need a whole lot of the floor space to lay out all the pieces.
Yes.
To make sure we had all the pieces, that nothing was missing, that none of them were broken.
Yeah, exactly. And then we're now basically against the wall on one side, where it's also funny, like we have the crates that we brought ourselves. There really, really wouldn't have been something to sit on otherwise.
No, not otherwise.
There's still, to be honest, there's still some stuff here.
Oh, right, yeah.
We still have some pieces that we didn't actually...
Yeah, but I think they're like extra bits, like basically when you're building it, you break something, hey, here's some spare ones of the parts that break easily.
Yeah, I guess.
Although, since the thing doesn't work, as we said earlier, it looks really good. It really looks perfect.
It looks finished.
Yeah, and the lights switch on, it seems to power up.
So we must have done it right, because the lights power on. Yeah.
But then you can't actually, not that we would fly it here in the hangar itself, but we should be able to power on the thrusters.
Yes.
And that doesn't happen.
And exactly, that the thrusters don't go on, it doesn't hover. We even can't get the cover.
The cockpit?
Exactly. We can open it manually.
Yeah, right.
But we can't have it open automatically.
Yeah, or close itself when you're in there.
To be honest, initially the lights didn't even come on. So when they suddenly came on, I was like, yes, now it completely works.
What could be the case is that maybe somewhere in there we plugged in one cable backwards or wrong or something like that, But the problem with that is to find that out, we need to take the whole thing apart again.
Yeah.
We're kind of out of time now. Well, so not even kind of. We're out of time now.
Yeah, I mean, like for the hangar, definitely.
That's what I mean.
But also maybe at the end of our maybe dedication.
Maybe this is a project we come back to in the future, but I'm also fine not to work on it for a while now.
Yeah, exactly.
Like I say, we've been doing some long days. Like the start of the week, we're like, okay, we worked out how long should this take. Okay, we need to work on it 6 hours a day. We'll be fine. But then the last couple of days, it was like, that's not going to work.
Yes, we need more time. I mean, to be honest, the instructions were very clear. You know, they were massive, obviously, for such a big thing. But they were like, every piece was properly labeled, where they say, put F132 here and line it up with whatever. And when something had the same number, it was only when it was exactly the same. So like all of those 4 spokes, like they look the same, but they're all slightly different.
Correct. And it's important to put them in the appropriate place.
Exactly. But they have a number. You look at the thing, is this the number? Obviously, when you're reading the instructions, you have to make sure you have them, the right way up, which meant we had to go back a few times and we had them flipped. But other than that, it's you can't really do it wrong. That's at least my idea. Like I don't think there was anywhere where we used G132 instead of F.
I guess what's just occurred to me is maybe there was a point, because we do have these couple of leftover parts. Maybe at some point a couple of pages were stuck together.
Could be.
Like obviously we checked for that, we were careful with that, but maybe that's how come we have these leftover parts, and maybe that's why it doesn't work. Also,
I had forgotten about the Allen wrench, until I'm halfway through. It's a bit much, but until we were pretty far in, I was like, you can tighten all of these bits with the Allen wrench. So I didn't do that in the beginning. I just basically clicked
the
them
earlier
in.
parts are still a bit looser then.
Yeah, but I mean that it just means they're looser. Like it just doesn't mean it doesn't work, right?
Probably, unless because it's not quite maybe secured tightly enough. Maybe it won't switch on because it would shake apart, like a safety measure,
or because of security reasons. Didn't feel loose though.
Sure, no. And you were tightening them with your fingers, yeah? That should be good enough.
You're clicking them in, pretty much.
Yeah.
I mean, like there was IKEA support, obviously, right? So they the support woman came over twice, just teleported here. But because it's a do-it-yourself set, they can't actually help you. They're not supposed to, because it's your do-it-yourself thing. If they have to build the stuff for us, then why?
It's a separate service.
Exactly. And why then did they even sell it to us? They just buy a finished thing. If you want to build it yourself, you have to build it yourself. And she couldn't say, now do this, now do that, because that's where you get the instructions. If she has to tell us what to do, then the same thing, the same arguments.
Yeah.
But what she could do was basically say, when we were doing something. That's basically as far as she could get.
Yeah.
So she could basically watch us do stuff and go I wouldn't do that if I was you. Something along those lines.
But then when she was here, there was none of that, yeah? She was very, basically, we were doing things correctly.
Yeah. Or basically, you're not sure and you're moving to the left to see if this is where it should go, and she would already go, but we would have figured out that it would fit. So that... But to be honest, first when it was done, I was like, this looks amazing. I mean, okay, halfway through I already thought it looks amazing.
Yeah.
And it's also, like I said, way bigger than I thought.
I think it's like a single person spacecraft. You may be imagining something kind of small, but no, it still needs to have space for all the fuel. It's much larger.
And also like the actual capsule in the middle where you sit in.
That's the part.
You can't just get to that. You need a ladder to get in. Or
correct. Tie up off the ground.
So it looks amazing. And then even when the lights came on, the thing itself, looking at it with the lights on, that's already awesome. So we did build our own Starfury.
We did.
Yes.
Okay, but we're not going to... So we didn't finish it for today's episode. Okay, so we need to maybe... We'll do something else. I do have it at home. I got it when we decided on this project, actually. I got it as a way of celebrating when we did finish successfully building the Starfury. Got a Lego model of a Starfury.
Oh, really?
So much smaller than this, of course. It's not a life-size model. It's the correct scale for Lego minifigs, we could go back to my place, we could build that, and then we could shrink ourselves down, and then act as if we're really in, as if we're in the building.
Oh.
It's one of those really cool Lego models where it can actually fly around too.
Oh, cool. Mm-hmm. And that will definitely work.
I think so.
Oh, let's do that.
Yeah. It's pretty late. Yeah, we can sort this out tomorrow.
Yeah.
This place, I mean.
It sounds great. I would love to do a slide fly around.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Cool. I mean, I know it's pretty late, but I'm motivated.
Yeah.
Shall we wrap up and go do that?
Yeah. Let's close up here and go back there. Okay, but then for our listeners, please email us. I mentioned that at the start, yeah. So please email us at michaellasagna5@gmail.com. Put the number 235 in the subject line so that we know this episode successfully went back in time. And what was it I said at the start that they could email us about? Do you remember?
No,
neither do I, but they'll remember. Those things I told you at the start of the episode, put those in your email and we'll totally enjoy reading them.
All right. Then thanks for listening and see you in 200 years.
Bye-bye.